Go. We gotta address this now.
Come on.
Come
You got
on,
Wi-Fi
man.
and you got Wi-Fi.
You have
You
your
know.
wifey. You keep it.
Both are pretty good. I use both of them.
Wait,
I have both of them in my
you
life. I have both of them in my life. I use the Wi-Fi. I do not use my Wi-Fi.
Good.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
Good. And cats, yes, I love Miku. I even bought Miku in Fortnite.
Did you really? Wow.
Because Miku is now in Fortnite.
Joe owns Miku, guys.
I own 2 Mikus.
Dang.
About to be 3. As soon as I finish the festival pass, I'll have a 3rd Miku.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Talk about using things. No, I don't think you're supposed to buy people.
But
I think it's
Miku's
okay
a
because they're
Vocaloid.
robots.
It's fake.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Fake human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cats, you should get Fortnite. Everybody should get Fortnite. Fortnite is an institution, man. Everybody needs Fortnite.
That's great. It's funny because I haven't touched Fortnite very much, but I have been coding and stuff in Unreal Engine, which is what they built. It's the same company, and they built Fortnite with Unreal Engine. So it feels like, to some degree, I've been having my hands in Fortnite, even if I don't play Fortnite.
You do.
Yeah, they did a good job with their stuff.
Sure.
Epic Games.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So anyway, welcome.
Incredible marketing, too.
Oh, yeah. Yep, just
they know what they're doing.
Send it through the YouTubers.
Yeah.
Get the
That's
YouTubers
right.
playing your games, and then all of a sudden, now the whole world's going to do it. It'll be great.
Yeah. True.
When can we play Fortnite? Good question. I can build some cabinets, though. Oh, and you're addicted to VR. You know what? My son is totally in love with his VR, too. It's cool.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, VR is fun. He got me playing
I remember when all that was
Gorilla
first
Tag.
coming out. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a VR game. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we're playing Gorilla Tag, and then, I suck at it, right? So I'm just, really slow and not doing much, and, and then Mikhail's making friends with all the other people in there, and he's like, hey, that's my dad, so be nice to him. And then all of a sudden, I have this huge crowd of other gorillas around me. They're like, oh, your dad, blah, 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 and this and that. It's all these kids crowding around me.
That's good. That's good. That's so cute. That's how we are as human beings. Hi, Dad. Yeah, everyone's starting to call you Dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's true. That's true. When my kids were really little, there was one of my oh geez, I don't even know how this relation would be. There was a little girl that was out there with us, right? And she didn't know my name, and my kids were calling me Dad, and so then she just started calling me Dad.
Yeah. Cute.
And then my son was like, he's not your dad. You don't get to call him Dad. He's our dad.
Oh, no. You can call me Dad. It's fine. We know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. It's all good. So, anyway.
That's cute.
Welcome, everybody, to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is a show we do on Wednesdays. Apparently, sometimes we miss them because we missed last week, too.
We missed more this year than we've missed any year ever, and it's just the beginning of the year.
No, we only missed 2.
Yeah, we only missed 2.
This year, but we missed one right at the end of last year.
Yeah, it's true.
So it was true. So it's been 3 really close together. But last week, I'm sorry, I wasn't here, and that threw everything off because I was at a job site. We were trying to install these cabinets and working. They had the homeowner was leaving the following day, so we had to finish it that day. We were there until midnight. It was nuts. Oh, and not only that, that was day 3 of this craziness. Day 1 was a 12-hour work day, 90 minutes of sleep into a 16-hour work day Tuesday. 3 hours of
Wow.
sleep into another 14-hour workday.
Wow.
It was nuts.
Jeez.
It was nuts, man.
Yeah.
And so like we were busting. And
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, so that's
Wow.
why I wasn't here. And then and then we didn't have an episode set up, and it was all crazy. So anyway, so here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're here.
We did it. We made it.
We made it. We
Mm-hmm.
made it. So yep, and it's great to be here. It's great to be with you guys. That's a lot of work. Did I get any sleep after that? Yeah, I slept like 6 hours Wednesday night, and then I think I don't know. I kind of got caught back up, but now we're up at Ryan's house in Michigan, finishing up all their trim and crown molding and baseboard and all that stuff. Man, it's good.
I can't wait to see it all,
dude. You
gonna look amazing.
never seen trim this nice, ever, ever. Because most of the time you just buy it from Home Depot or something, and it just is whatever, regular, right? But we crafted this trim, we made it out of poplar. It's been
like caramel.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's been hand sanded. It's using high-end, high VOC, high toxicity paint.
Wow. High toxicity paint.
So it's good,
that's
right?
really
like
good.
the more toxic the paint is, like the solvents, they all evaporate before you get,
Yeah, that's why you should definitely go with the best asbestos in your like ceilings and walls.
Sure. Except for that stuff doesn't go away.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
But you have to do this. Like I'm learning this. You have like if you're gonna paint cabinets that go in people's kitchens and bathrooms, you got to use solvent-based paints, which are toxic. Because if you use water-based paints, it's all the moisture in the air is gonna like mess up the finish. So it's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of common sense, but it's just science, right? Because if you use a water base, then the same thing that's causing it to be applied is also like in the area and just going to cause it to drip out, kind of. It'll fade really fast.
Oh yeah.
But if you use solvent, then it's going to stick around because the water's not going to do anything to it. Also, it chemically damages the wood in a way that's like gets the paint into it. In a really specific way.
So it's hard to remove, actually. Like you can't just
you can't remove it because it's embedded into it's like it's not just dyeing, it's also like creating chemical like acid stuff. It's very strong.
Yeah. Now I don't think there's lead or cyanide in our finishes. Like either one.
Yeah, lead paint is no.
No,
but lead paint does not dye.
They don't even make that anymore.
Yeah,
and even if they did, we wouldn't use it. But that's okay. Anyway, here we are.
Anyways, let's move on. Yeah,
yes, let's do Don't Worry Wednesday. It's great to see you all. Yotzawa, Saule, Katz, Zay, Baka, just to name a few. Actually, I think that's all.
Might be
Don't Worry Wednesday. August and Mianglios. I saw you guys earlier too. Yeah. Great to be here with you guys. You guys are great. But anyway, so here we are, and it's Wednesday, so we got some topics. But first, we got to do the legal stuff. It's been a long time. It feels like since I've had to do this spiel because you hosted. So, geez, it was like mid-December the last time I hosted one of these.
That's right.
So it's been like a month.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
we are not professionals. That is true.
There we go. We're not professionals. The information we give is not a substitute for professional advice. We're just trying to give back and support you as you're supporting us. If you'd like to send us your concern, type it out in the chat or on our website at don'tworrywednesday.com. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you read that well.
That
was awesome.
I don't know.
I guess you've read a lot of books in your day. Yeah.
I read a lot.
First of all, I'm semi-dyslexic, and I mean, we all are, but my dyslexia is a little bit higher than most people, but not as high as some. Anyways, but like, secondly, you read that as if it was coming out of your lips and you weren't reading anything at all. Like that was how well you read that out loud. And to me, I was like, that's spectacular. Because when I read something, it's pretty obvious that I'm reading it.
Ah,
To me, I think.
I see. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, good night, Yosua. Great seeing
Yeah,
you,
have a
buddy.
great night.
Hopefully we
Yeah,
can
wake
play
up 5 hours.
Fortnite
Yeah, go to bed. Mm-hmm.
and
Sleep well.
shoot some Fortnite people.
Mm. That's right.
But all right, and just do the Joe thing. Like that's just do it. Shave your head, grow a beard, put on some glasses, and do the do, man. That's all. That's it. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, if you have something you'd like us to talk about, you can put it in the chat or go to don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button, and type out your question or concern or whatever. Yeah. Okay, Yozua. Cool. Good night.
Have a good night.
So anyway, Kyle, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Is it cold where you guys are? Because it's really cold here. And Ryan,
it's hot here.
I'm pretty sure
Very
it's
hot.
not cold there. I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you're
the
like on
opposite
the
of
opposite.
cold. We actually turned the AC on
What?
this week.
What?
Yeah, I know. I've never done that in my entire life.
What?
I've never turned an AC on. But the thing is, we didn't need to. We just chose to because it was like, oh yeah, we have one. We should try that out. And so we turned it on.
Wow.
But
how'd it work?
it was great. It worked. It made things cold. And then we left it on too long and we were like, it's too cold out here.
It's too cold. We need blankets. Yeah. I'm sure you have blankets though. Yeah. Actually, it might say, like, if you use your air conditioner more and close your windows, you might not have as many allergies.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Possibly.
It's definitely true about the windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely true about the windows.
Yeah.
At least for me, my wife, it's bad either way, whether we have them open or closed. But I do know that if we go outside or we open up the windows, it does get worse. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And stay inside.
It's not immediate, but you figure it out.
Don't touch grass. Stay inside.
Don't ever touch grass again. Yeah.
Live at your computer.
It's still bad either way. Yes, exactly.
Well, sorry. I guess, just try to avoid breathing and
why didn't I think of that? That's really good. Yeah.
That sounded mean.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in a mean way. I know, you can't help it. You can't be alive and not breathe.
Even the trees breathe, guys. Even the trees breathe.
Yep. Oh wow!
Don't stop breathing.
Wow, only -15 wind chill. Yeah, you're over in that really cold. It was so cold.
So cold.
I tell you what. I don't know what the wind chill was, but I know last night when I was driving home from Ryan's house, it was like -5, the temperature. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cold.
Yeah.
So cold. And Cats went to the hibachi. Did you go to hibachi where they cook it at your table? Because those are really fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have them where you make your stuff and you take it over to them and they make it.
Oh yeah,
but then
that's
also
right.
they have the ones where they actually make it at the table.
That just reminded me of one of the times we went to Mongolian
Yes.
barbecue together.
Yes, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's like dinner in a show. The chef was right in front of you. And they're flipping all this stuff around, and it's so good.
That's
Steak
fun.
and salmon, so worth it. Yeah, it was funny. I think when I went with my kids and Steve to Cedar Point, we went to a hibachi place. It was right there in the hotel, right? And I think, but when we got our our entrees and then drinks, and maybe there was a side or an appetizer or something in there, maybe one. I don't know. It was over $200 for 4 people.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it was crazy,
Wow.
man.
Wow.
But you're at a resort,
some.
right? You're at a resort in the resort hotel at one of the restaurants in the hotel of the resort. And
Yeah.
so it's like everything's like super premium, right? But
Wow.
whatever. You're paying for the experience at that point, and to
Yeah,
to
of
have
course.
the stories with your friends and your family, and I mean, it's cool.
I heard this recently. I don't know if it's true or if I might be misunderstanding the context here, but from what I heard, the hibachi in Japan, they use lower temperature grills than the ones in the US. So in the US, you know how they do all those flip tricks and stuff like that, and they like are moving things constantly?
Yeah.
It's because their grills are so hot that if they don't do that, it will your food will be overcooked. So they have to find ways to buy time. So they developed these fun tricks to keep the food from getting too hot. Whereas in Japan, apparently their grills are colder, but so everything kind of cooks at the same temperature, and you don't have a risk of anything getting too hot and burning, because generally they cut up their vegetables bigger. They size things perfectly so they all cook basically around the same time. So I don't know if that's true. That's just something I heard in passing, but I think that's interesting. That it's kind of like in America we developed all of these tricks to solve a problem of our grills being too hot.
Yeah. Wow, that's funny, but it's cool. It's entertaining. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of these guys are really good. Like super skilled,
super talented.
Making onion volcanoes and all that kind of fun stuff.
That's so fun. I like the volcanoes. Those are great.
Yeah, that's good. Wait, Baka, below 0 is pants weather. Above 0 is shorts weather. Hey, all right.
What?
So yeah.
No.
That's cool.
To me, it's like below 100 is shorts, or sorry, above 100. Wow, okay, let me try. Below 100 is pants level, and above 100 is pants level. It's always pants. Don't put a shorts on ever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you always wear long sleeves too. Long sleeves.
Yeah, long sleeves, long pants. No matter what temperature is outside.
If it's under 100 degrees Fahrenheit,
Here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Now, you're going to think this is silly, but this is actually true. You ever seen movies where they're crossing the desert and it's really hot?
Yeah.
You ever seen people working on a house and it's like a bunch of, like, for example, people from South America, and they're all like fully clothed?
Yeah.
Working on like top of your roof with the sun beating on them?
Yeah.
The clothes that you wear protect you from the sun. If you want to get real hot, take your clothes off and have the sun beat on you. If you want to stay cool when it's really hot outside and you're outside in the sun, keep your clothes on, okay? Don't take them off, because the sun has to... Your clothes protect you from direct contact with the sun's heat, which actually keeps you way cooler. That's why when you see people cross into the desert, they're wearing so much. It's because that helps their body stay regulated, because it's like you've got this thick barrier between you and the sun that keeps a temperature inside. So thick clothes are actually good for the sun if you're outside.
Oh.
If you're inside, then you can wear whatever you want. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. See, I just sorry, my brain went all kinds of crazy as soon as I heard the words come out of your mouth. Take your clothes off. And I was like,
if you want to get real hot. Yeah.
Like, oh boy.
Sally's got it. Yeah, they've got a white hoodie designed to keep the cool in. Yeah. It works great, but people think it's... I don't know what that was supposed to be, but anyways,
Kicks.
Yeah, people. Oh,
You know that cereal?
yeah.
K star
Yum. I love.
star. 3 of the letter.
Oh, Ku Klux Klan. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's silly. Yeah, no, the white hoodies. That's smart. It's very
Mm-hmm.
smart. Hmm. But
Yes,
that's my thing.
you got.
You can do
So
whatever you want,
that's your
Baka. If you want to
advice.
wear shorts, go for it. Absolutely. Hmm.
Do it. Do what you want.
So do what you want, Baka. Of course. Do
Yeah.
what you want, man. Um, we should do a topic.
Yes,
What do
let's
you
do.
think?
I think that's a great
All
idea.
right.
I think that's a great idea. We have some topics. Some are from December. We do have a new one. I don't think we have any that are urgent. And one of these is from me, apparently. And apparently, I want to be present when I cover the topic. Well, I'm not present, so I can't do mine.
One of them is also from me,
From
and
you, and you have to be
Mhm.
present. But
I want to be
at
present as
least you're
well.
present.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? We'll just start with this. Wait, did we ever do the one from Neonsci about the restless brain fuzz?
I see that on here, and I'm a little bit surprised. So, see, the thing is, I shouldn't. I should not read it and try to figure it out because if I do that, I've probably already talked to her about it and thought, and will think, "Oh yeah, we did this topic," but I don't think we ever did it.
All right. Well, let's do it so we can.
Mm-hmm.
It's from October.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember, but that's probably allergies. Yeah, I've never thought about that before.
All right. Yeah. Let's do that one. Restless brain fuzz.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
We'll start with that. If I can get it open here.
Spooky topic.
Ooh.
October. Yes.
All right, cool. I will put it up on the screen. You guys can read along while I read it aloud. This is called Restless Brain Fuzz from Neonsci. And here it is. I often daily get this overwhelming feeling of restlessness. I can't focus. There are no specific thoughts taking over, and I don't believe it's anxiety because I don't have anxious thoughts. I believe it is an overabundance of mental energy that I cannot control, sort of like a self-imposed feeling of constant overstimulation. The only time I don't have this feeling is when I'm tired, so I always do the most work when I'm tired. I seem to only be able to focus when I'm half asleep. When I'm well rested and fully energized, I cannot think straight or even form a coherent sentence. I cannot read literally or focus on anything. My brain literally feels like it's vibrating. When I'm tired, I can easily focus, think clearly, write and read paragraphs of text too, which is impossible when my brain is buzzing. I've been able to somewhat medicate this issue with teas that have tranquilizing or sedative properties, like drinking a glass of strong valerian tea when I wake up, which actually really helps me focus and get things done. I acknowledge that sedating myself is not a permanent fix, but rather a band-aid on a wound that is just being reopened every day. So I'd rather not continue to do that forever. I'd rather solve the root cause here. My main issue is I seem to have trouble directing my energy into focus. If I could use this abundance of energy and focus it into one point, I think that it would be pretty awesome. But I have no idea how to do that. I understand this may be difficult to answer as it seems less of an emotional problem and perhaps more of a mental, physical one. Any thoughts on how I can control my restless brain and have the ability to direct my focus to one point? I want to learn how I can control my focus better. I'd also like to add, whenever I ponder things, it always loops and I never seem to come away with a conclusion. May or may not be related. This could be a whole nother topic. I see I can see that this focus issue, like all other issues, is an amalgamation of a bunch of other seemingly unrelated issues that all need to be solved to come to a real conclusion. But if I started breaking all that down, we'd be here all day. Anyways, good luck, guys, and don't diagnose me with mental illness, chat. from Nyansai. So, wow, thank you, Nyansai. That was very, very well articulated, and you took some time typing that out. I mean, clearly you had enough focus to type that out. Unless, well, maybe it took you 3 days and you were sitting down and coming back. I guess I don't know that for sure. But
could be.
Katz diagnoses you with the common cold. So yeah. And Saul, this is actually, I like this one. I think workout, ? Exercise seems like something that would help. Not sure if you already do that or not. And I think that could be definitely something worth trying. Because it does, I mean, if what you're talking about is you have your best focus ability when you're somewhat tired, working out does have a way. I know that anytime I work out, afterward, I do feel pretty focused, and then throughout even like the next days, like after working out and when I get into the habit of it, like cognitively, I'm in a lot better shape when I'm in good physical shape like that, right? So that's definitely something to think about. You need to start lifting heavy weights. Do it. But just know your limits. Don't hurt yourself. If you lift stuff too heavy and hurt yourself, then you've just made everything worse. You'll start with lifting Ryan with your pinky.
Good idea. With your pinky.
Do it.
Easy. That's a little too easy.
But wait until after the show. I don't want to see that kind of nonsense. So
what, acrobats? I don't know. Acrobatic.
Yeah, Soleil. Even just going on a walk, a jog, run, or doing some jumping jacks. Yep, maybe even stretching. I know that people feel differently about yoga. I think yoga's fine. There's a whole religious aspect to yoga that I wouldn't probably dive into too much. But like if you're just doing the stretches and the poses and stuff like that, I think that's fine. And I know a lot of people who are very mentally with it that do yoga. And they have that flexibility. And
I've heard that. What is it called? Is it Pilates?
Pilates, yeah, that's another.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Pilates. I've heard that Pilates is basically just as good as yoga. If you want to do that instead.
Yoga is against your religion. Who says?
Yeah.
We're the same religion.
Yoga. Well, if you we are the same religion. Yoga, if you want to practice full yoga. Yeah, it would be against your religion.
Yeah, that's why I said
people just like do Pilates instead.
Right.
But yeah, you could do yoga if you say, just try to stretch the way that they stretch. I suppose. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using your body in the ways that they're being used. That's a whole different topic.
Right. Right. So anyway, yep. If that bothers you, and if your conscience gets, has problems with doing yoga, like Ryan said, do Pilates, But some kind of physical activity might be good, because it'll just kind of regulate things a little bit more. But anyway, so all right, now that we've kind of gotten started talking about this, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, and so he can say all the things that he said when he talked to you about it personally. So for everybody else.
Probably. Actually, I've got a question first, sweetheart. Do you still feel this way? It's been, since October. Quite a few months have passed. Do you feel like this is something that's regularly happening still? I know that recently, with all of the intense allergies that we've been facing, just waking up in the morning has been like a victory. To be able to get out of bed. Not really because you're constantly exhausted because of allergies. Yeah, that's what I thought.
No energy.
Don't feel energetic at all. Yeah, that's kind of what I was. That's what I was thinking. So this isn't something you're necessarily faced with right now. And that's kind of what because it's so, I don't see you with any energy at all, ever, like within the last couple of, like at least the last month. And it's
you
really
guys
sad.
like zombies walking around your house over there?
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Because of all the insane allergies. Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem will come back after you move. Yeah, exactly. So, um, I guess that makes it a little difficult to do the topic now because, um, well, right now as opposed to a time when you're actually going through it. But I think I've got some thoughts on this. As you mentioned, this may or may not relate to what you said. Let's see here. You ponder things and it goes in loops, right? I think, if you want to direct your focus at something when you have all this energy, but it becomes very hard to do so because like your brain's buzzing and you can't think a solid straight thought because your mind is going every direction at once.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's because your mind has a habit and the way that the way that your mind works. And this is something that is something you could be proud of, but also has its downfalls. And that is your mind does go all the locations at once and tries to understand and fathom everything at once. But when you're full of energy, and as you've said before, you can do that endlessly. It causes you the inability to make decisions because you think about something and you go like, oh, maybe I could do this. And you're like, oh, but that would cause this, this. And then those things would cause that. And those things would cause that. And it's like an endless. And then you don't get anywhere because you're never able to make a decision because you're never able to, because your brain is going in every direction at once. So it's not very focused. And I think, and I'll say that it doesn't work well for you that to some degree, you're a woman, and women tend to be able to see everything all at once, and men tend to overfocus on one thing at a time. And so if you're trying to get a lot of work done, not being able to focus on everything is, of course, going to lead to more productivity because you don't have to take everything in to actually get work done, right? And so your mind is kind of working against you. Now, like you said, I think that to some degree, this is a mental, physical issue, not just one that's rooted in behaviors. But maybe there are behaviors you can establish that could help you, right? And so I think that to practice letting your thoughts just go and making a decision, like practice making decisions, practice like saying, oh, I don't need more information than this. It's fine. And if something, because you well know, and we've had discussions about this before, you know that if you don't have all the information and you make a decision and it bites you in the butt later, you really don't care. You don't blame yourself for going like, oh, I should have thought about it more. You don't blame yourself and stop yourself from like solving it from there. You just go, oh, whoops, I made a mistake. Okay, let's correct. Let's figure out how to solve this. And you do, right? You're really good at that. You have a great attitude about that kind of stuff. And so if you already know that you don't have to solve everything before you do anything because you don't have the problem of anxiety where if things don't go according to plan, you freak out, right? So since you kind of already have a lot of that down, I think that what you should try to do is practice making decisions without the full information. And if you can do that, then there's a small chance that it might help with this issue if it pops up again, in that your brain will now have the capacity or the habit, at least in part, of being able to go, like, I've got all this energy, and instead of focusing on everything all at once, you can have all that energy and think, well, I don't need to know everything to work on this. I'll just start working on it. And then you can get a lot done, right? obviously there's goods and bads to both. Obviously, it's great to be able to see full picture.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's great to be able to notice everything around you. I mean, that's a that's a common thing, and I don't mean to just press that it's a woman versus man thing, but it's very common for men to ignore everything in their environment around them except for the one thing they're focused on, and women to see everything, and that's why they can see all the trouble the kids are getting into, and the male parent just goes like, I didn't even notice, you know.
Yeah, like whatever.
And so my point of saying that is, my point isn't necessarily to bring out the male or female difference, but more so my point is to point out that it has its advantage to see everything. And it's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's a very good thing to be able to take in everything that's going on around you. It's a great thing to be able to juggle all of the different consequences and live all of that out to its end that you can feasibly come to, you know, but it also holds you up a lot, especially when it comes to even making decisions that are like, well, why should I do this thing? I know that it can cause good, but it can also cause bad. Like, you know, and some people will not be happy if I did it, even though it is a good thing. And so for them, it's bad, and et cetera, et cetera. And it goes into this endless loop of like, you can't actually end up doing the thing that you know is good anyways, right? And so I think that might be like, if your brain is fully energized, it'll only do that stronger, right? It's like if you have a bad habit or a good habit, if you're at full strength, you'll do that good habit or bad habit even stronger, right? That's just the way it works. You know, if you like, and we've had discussions about this, you've said it from yourself to other people on our stream, you know, if you get good, or if you start focusing on something and you get good at it, you're going to be good at doing that thing, whether you want to be or not. And that can be very self-destructive. Now, I don't think it's bad to take in all that information and try to understand the whole complexity of the issues. I think it's a very good thing. But if it stops you from being able to make decisions, stops you from being able to work on things and take active, you know, because you love doing things. That's one of your traits, is you like actively doing things. You like to do things. Doing things is nice for you, right? It's compelling. Mm-hmm. And so I think you could solve a lot of this if you have full energy. I think it's just compounding the problem stronger. So, and it's only when you're tired that it becomes lackadaisical with this habit, because your brain can't have the energy to keep it up, trying to fathom everything possible at once. And so then you can finally work, you know? And that makes sense to me, at least. And so when you're tired, of course, you can work better, because, yeah, your brain doesn't have the ability to keep everything in your head at once. And so you just kind of let it go. And when you're tired, you let things go easier because you're exhausted and you're like, oh, no, you know, just whatever, I'm going to be lazy and not think about all that stuff. And I try to keep everything in at once. So when you have full energy, I think, of course, then that habit's going to, you're like, wow, I've got the energy to like think of everything. And so you do, and you get nowhere. Something like that. That's my thought. So I would say to train your mind to practice making decisions and telling yourself, like, I don't have all the information, and that's fine. I know that this is a good thing to do, regardless of knowing everything that's possible, and I should just do it, and I'll deal with the consequences later. And you already know that you're capable of that, and that's not a fear of yours. So I'd say just practice doing those things, write them down in a journal, etc., and keep your mind on that. And so then one day when you do have energy again in the coming future, hopefully when we have this allergy thing solved, you will be able to have this habit already written into you of like, I don't need all the information, let's go. You know what I'm saying? That's my thought. That's my thought. That's the only thing I can address on behaviorism type of stuff, because I can't necessarily address any potential mental or brain miswirings, neurons, etc., because all of that's out of my jurisdiction by far, as you know. But yeah, it's difficult to weigh the value of things and prioritize things. Yeah, I understand. Need to be more sanguine. Yeah, a little bit, right? I think we all need that sometimes.
Oh my gosh, not me.
So,
I'm already too sanguine.
That's great. Anyways, that's what I've got. I hope that's helpful, sweetheart. And I'm gonna give it over to Joe.
I don't know if you want to give it over to me.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Well,
so you need to be more sanguine. I actually am about as non-sanguine as you can be. Like when I took the personality test. So
yeah.
But anyway, so I do have a question though. Is this a recent development or is this something you've dealt with your whole life?
Mm.
And so, but I do like a lot of what Ryan was talking about. You think always? Okay.
Hey, Kishan.
So, all right. Okay. So I don't know. It's weird. We all have different ways of doing stuff, right? Like,
I like that, Kishan. Yeah.
what did Kishan say? Every way to break
It's
bad
quite an
habits, choice
interesting.
paralysis is introducing chaos into systems that have no reason to be chaotic. Literally carry a dice around in my car for when I need to choose lunch. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that makes sense. I mean, so okay,
Mm-hmm.
so making decisions sometimes, I don't know. I've struggled in this area a lot. I've struggled in this area of lack of focus. I've struggled in the area of, not being able to make a decision. Different states of life affect this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like different times in your life, whether you are you working, or are you focused on a goal? Do you have like goals imposed upon you? Do you have somebody breathing down your neck needing stuff done? Or are you in need of getting a bunch of stuff done and you have no choice but to work really hard and make decisions fast? I mean, sometimes those things are imposed upon you. Sometimes, if you guys are in a situation where your lives are fairly relaxed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to just kind of go through your day, and you can. It's a beautiful thing. You can pick what you want to do for that day. You've got work. You've always got stuff you can be doing, but none of it's like
Always.
super urgent, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can artificially place urgency on some of these things, and that might help you. But sometimes when we're dealing with a whole bunch of different stuff and you have a whole lot of different options of things to do and they're all good and none of them are
Mm.
urgent, this can be really, really difficult, right? Because then it's like, okay, what do I start on, And so I totally understand. Neon says, I think I used to be more decisive, but I think there was a big trauma in my life where I lost a lot of trust in myself. Okay. That could definitely do it. I know that happened to me, as a result of, going through a crazy marriage and divorce situation. Everything kind of got shaken all up, and I was crazy for a while. And then here's the thing. Sometimes though, this is really weird. I've learned to have a healthy dose of screw it in my life.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like I
Well,
got
of course,
these
I'm
decisions
phlegmatic,
to make,
so
and here's the
I have an
thing.
unhealthy dose of that.
So it's fun. Well, no, but like, I mean, like, okay, I got to make a decision. I don't know what to do. And then it's just like, screw it. I'm going to make this decision,
Mhm.
But in order to get to that point, I had to make myself angry.
Mm.
I had to be angry, Joe. And, and that's fine because I've learned how to direct anger productively. And so, but with that in mind, then I can just be like, screw it, I'm just going to do it, or I'm just going to not do it. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it, or I am doing it, and I'll just deal with it, whatever. Right. And then it's funny because sometimes you're in situations where no matter what decision you make, or at least this is what it seems like, no matter what decision you make is going to be the wrong one. You ever have that?
Mm.
I have that.
Yeah.
I have that at work all the time, right? Where I know I'm going to do something, then somebody's going to say, "Oh, well, that's dumb," or whatever. And so it's like, so I had to just get into the, I have to get in the mindset of saying, you just screw it. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to make a decision and and then they're inevitably going to tell me I'm stupid. And so then I'm going to just tell them to screw off or something, right? Like that. I don't know. So, all right. We've got more in the chat here. August says, maybe you're feeling a bit disconnected from your shoulder angel. Focusing on visualizing that comforting presence and guidance could help restore trust in oneself. Yeah, usually I just ask other people around me to make the decision for me. So I don't think I learned how to do it myself. So yeah, that can be really interesting. And I know, but here's the thing. A lot of people struggle with this their whole lives and take forever to make a decision. And that's okay. It's okay. Because sometimes you need to think through a lot of different things. There's a lot of details involved sometimes. Like my dad is that way. He takes a long time to make a decision, but he considers like every little detail. And so then, by the time he reaches a decision, it's going to be very well thought out and probably very accurately the right thing to do. Ryan, your brother's the same way, right?
Growing up, my brother always made me make all the decisions.
Oh, really?
Because, not all of them, but a lot of them. I learned to make decisions because my brother forced me to for everything. And
if I was he could tell you it was the wrong decision?
Well, no, he didn't usually do that to me. Look, sometimes he did, to be honest, but he didn't usually do that to me. Usually it was something like, what do you want to do? We have all these options, whatever you want, And it wasn't like he was trying to give it to me so that we could do something that I wanted. It was definitely because he really hated making decisions and he didn't want to have to think about it. And so he was like, Ryan, you make a decision, because it was so much easier on him because he has to consider everything, and I'm just like, I don't care, whatever happens. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So, I learned I didn't like making decisions. It was not something that I wanted to do, but it was something that I learned to do because my brother was always making me do it.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay. Like, as a phlegmatic, I'm like, I don't care. I don't need to make a decision because I don't care what happens. Like, either way, I'm happy.
So it's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We're going to do this one, like whatever.
Yeah. So I learned to adopt a little bit of sanguine attitude in my life, where I'm just like, oh, let's do that. I guess. Yeah. Just pick and go.
Yeah. I mean, it can be tough because then you think about, oh man, what if it's the wrong decision? At least that's what I struggle with. Right. But so then I had to just get to the point where I just say, screw it, and get mad and, and then make the decision. I like Kishan says, I think Kishan, you summed it up really good. You said, honestly, comfort ruins things for me. I got to be angry like Joe to be 100% in decisive work mode. And I think you're right. And I think anger has a way of focusing things. Anger has a way of stealing, like not stealing like taking from you, but stealing like the metal steel. It'll steal your resolve. Like it'll harden your resolve. So like anger has a way of doing that. It has a way of just like getting you to, take action, make a decision, go forward. And if it's the wrong one, you're just like, well, we learned something. At least we moved forward. Right? You think making decisions can be fun often in your life? That's cool. Wait, when you're angry, you're useless? I doubt that.
When she's angry, it's hard. It's still just as hard for her to make a decision, but then she just doesn't have as good as an attitude about it.
Oh, yeah, they just sulk. Okay.
Sulk.
So you're a sulky, angry person. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm the kind of angry person that, if unchecked, if I don't have something to do, I'll be very quiet and very focused on a task at hand. Like I won't say much at all. And I'll just get to work, and if somebody talks to me, I don't answer them all the time. And I'll just keep working. But I generally get into action doing something, and that's just because I think I had to learn that though. It took some time because I used to get angry. When I'd be angry, I'd get quiet and then I'd be mad and then I'd just stew about it. Because I had been trained that anger is a bad thing, but it's not. Anger is neutral. It can be used for good or bad. It's just energy. So, but here you're talking about not being able to focus when you do have a lot of energy. Yes, Kishan, that's my secret.
That's true.
I'm always angry.
That's true. If anger gives you energy to do something, but the energy makes it so you become unfocused, then that would be self-defeating to have the anger. That's interesting.
Yeah. But frozen cheesecake is still cheesecake. You got that off your chest. Good. I don't want any cheesecake, even if it has been on your chest.
Even if it's been on its chest. That was not what I was expecting. Cheesecake's great. I love cheesecake.
Yep. I don't want anybody's chest for cheesecake. I don't want anybody's cheesecake. Cheesecake is gross.
That's okay.
Cheese is good. Cheesecake is nasty, man. I don't know. But anyway, so to kind of wrap this up for you, Neonsai, oh my gosh, you're so wrong.
Wrong. She's correct because it's that's kind of funny. Joe, you are correct in saying it's gross, but she's also correct in saying it's delicious because you only have your own taste buds to deal with.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's all right. You know, we can. Hey, whatever. Yeah. It's all in jest, right? Like we're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, August. This is interesting. I feel like anger borrows energy from my future happiness meter. I really keep my anger for when it's necessary. I totally can understand that. You have to understand it's an emotion. And emotions are temporary. They're like the weather. They come and go, right? And so while you have an emotion, no matter what it is, experience it. Take the time to experience it and see what you can learn from it, because emotions can be signposts into what we need to do, what direction we need to go, what just happened, and how things affect us and the world around us. I mean, all those things. Wait, is Ryan suddenly a relativist? Only with cheesecake. Gotcha. But I see what you're saying about that, but borrowing from future happiness, I don't think you really need to fear that too much. As long as you can learn to use the energy from your anger, and then as it passes, it's not going to degrade your future happiness unless you do something in your anger that you will regret. Which, when people have unchecked anger and it's aggressive, there's a lot of room for doing something you regret. And then you can lead yourself to being unhappy then. So anyway, I think I'll swing back around to what Saule said and, do some kind of exercise.
I think that's good.
Mm-hmm. I would say that'd be a great place to start. And I'm not going to diagnose you with a mental illness, and neither is the chat. So don't do it. Because I think this is, I think this is a very human issue. Like, it's something that people experience from time to time. I've experienced it quite a bit, actually, and I've had to learn how to get myself to focus. And for me personally, anger is generally a big component of that. If I can make myself upset, I can make decisions fast, and I can get a lot of work done, and I can be focused on what I'm doing, right? Partly because I'm mad, All it takes is somebody that I work with to say something, and then all of a sudden I'm mad. And then you know what? And then I'm getting so much done, you wouldn't even believe it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I could do that. I learned to do that when I worked at a grocery store, stocking shelves. It was really easy to make myself angry because there were a lot of little things that I'm kind of nitpicky. And so there's a lot of little things that would just make me upset. And so then I'd just blast out a whole bunch of work and I'd get a whole bunch done. You are diagnosed with wholesome human syndrome.
Ooh.
See, you're wholesome.
That's a good one.
You're just right, just the way you are. But I understand how this can be frustrating. And so if it still bothers you, you might, I'd say you could go see a doctor, but in a lot of cases, they might just write a prescription for you that, you're already talking about you use valerian tea and you don't want to use that even. And that's very benign. See, I'm very pro chemical enhancements.
Yeah. We both of us are like, if we don't need it, we'll just do without it. So like you're in severe pain for like 2 weeks. You throw your back out, whatever, and just it'll heal regardless if I have pain meds or not. So I'm just not going to use the pain meds. That's the way we are. So,
yep. You guys can be that way. You know what? As soon as something starts hurting, I'm taking some Tylenol or some ibuprofen or something because these things are here, right? And
that's true.
I can use them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's what it is. So I don't know. I'd also be cautious if you went and saw a doctor or something. They might try and tell you have ADHD, and I'm starting to think that all of us have ADHD. ADHD lies on a spectrum, and we all have some of it. Some of us just have more of it than others, or something. So in reality, everybody, yeah, exactly. So in reality, all of us could have some of it, and then and then we'd all be on Adderall or Ritalin or whatever it is, right? But then Pfizer would have its way, and everybody, then, which is, they want to rule the world anyway, so they can get us all on ADHD
why not
medications,
let them,
and then they could rule the world. If someone told me you have ADHD, it would change nothing about your life. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well, you have ADHD. Now what?
No, it's changed. That just changed one thing about her life. She's angry now. At you.
At me. Fine, bring it. I will out-anger you.
Uh-oh.
But I don't have to deal with you. Ryan does. I'm sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to make your wife upset.
I'm sure she's fine.
But all right.
Whoa.
Yes, much love.
Yeah, we have to be careful.
Yep.
No diagnosing and don't worry Wednesday.
We are not professionals.
That's right.
None of our advice is worth a lick, and so it's all for entertainment purposes anyway. So there you go. How's that for a legal disclaimer?
A little dismissive of self, but good.
Yeah. Yeah. We are not professionals. Our advice is not professional advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. If you're not entertained, there's something wrong with you.
That's my... Is that a diagnosis?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, hopefully there's something you can take away from that. But yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. It's tough when you feel like you're not making any progress or you have trouble making decisions, and you just have that brain fog. It does suck.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, add a cheesecake recipe.
When I think about my past life experiences, I feel like I've had that brain buzz before. For sure. It's like a crazy amount of energy. and you don't know what to spend it on. I've definitely been there.
Mm-hmm.
But usually because I'm so much less careful, or I'm a little bit carefree about things, it's easy for me to just pick something and just start going with it and have a lot of fun. Whereas in your case, I think it's a lot harder to do that. And it's not that you're not carefree. You are a pretty carefree person, but when it comes to making decisions of doing something, because you have such an importance on doing, it puts a lot of importance on the making of a decision about what you're going to do. Because what you're doing is really important to you. Not that you need to do something in order to feel valued or valuable yourself, but more so that you really enjoy doing things, and the act of doing is something that's satisfying for you. So I think those are just thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I'll often make a decision, then halfway through doing the thing, I'll second guess myself. I do that all the time too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you there. I think that, I'm always rethinking things. But
yeah. I think that's that melancholy part. It's, you got that's pretty strong.
Yeah. When I think back to my past lives.
Oh, wow.
How many past lives have you had?
Let's not give away any secrets, huh?
Oh yeah, okay, sorry, my bad. Yep.
Just one, guys. I mean, 0 past lives? Yeah, that's would you count the one that you're already living still a past life? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
So 0, I guess.
Oh, here's another thing too, and I'll only mention this very, very briefly so as not to ruffle too many feathers. Depending on where you guys are at in the honeymoon phase of your marriage, that being in love can clog everything in your brain up horribly.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So it may be something temporary that will pass.
Fair.
As the honeymoon phase, and then you reconnect with reality again, like whatever. I know you're always in love. Until the day you're not.
And then we always no really. Wait, is that reality?
No reality.
Okay. No reality.
No reality at all.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about the dangers of romance, Saule.
Voluntarily.
And one reason why I avoid it. Because I know what happened when I fell in love. When I fell in love hard, I know what happened. Like my whole life fell apart, and I know everybody's gonna be, is it just because you fell in love with the wrong person?
Joe? I think here's what I think. You are currently and have been deeply in love with anti-romance.
The MGTOW books, what are those?
I think that's Magic Gathering the Oh wow books. Or whoops, put that in the wrong order, right?
Whoops. Yeah.
MG
Men Going Their Own Way pickup artist stuff. Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
Pickup artist stuff. I don't have any use for that.
That's amazing.
It's weird though, because then you get rizzed up when you just don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
Then they come out of the woodwork and they come after you, and then you gotta it's crazy. Anti-pickup artist.
A put down artist.
I'm a put down artist.
That's not a good thing. No, pick down. There we go. That's better. Pick down artist.
A pick down artist.
I
appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
right.
basically.
I don't have to try and pick up anything. It's always just all of a sudden in my hand. Like I need a hammer. There it is.
Yeah. It's like Magneto.
I got a pen. I just needed it. I didn't even have to pick it up. It just appeared.
Yeah. Wow. So stinking amazing.
So anyway, all right. So I didn't want to get into this too far, but there it is.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's valid. It's a valid thought.
Yep. Because when you got endorphins and all kinds of crazy in your brain, from all that, the chemicals are
Hormones are
going crazy, so then, yeah, it's what it is, right? It's part of life. So anyway, hopefully some of that is helpful for you, and hopefully you had fun listening to us.
Yeah.
And hopefully I didn't make you too upset. But if I did make you upset, it's okay. Then you guys can follow my marital advice.
And punch each other?
And punch each other. Do it.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Oh, yes. All right. Cool. So you want to go to another topic?
That sounds great.
Neon Side, thank you for the topic. Thanks for dealing with, thanks for being patient with us since we haven't done this. It's been here since October. We are not therapists.
That's right.
Yep, that's very true. This is for entertainment.
Ooh.
Or guidance counselors. You're right. Man, if I was a guidance counselor, I wouldn't want to be that guidance counselor because my whole please don't take the marriage advice of punching each other. No. A guidance counselor, the whole purpose of a guidance counselor is to tell you to need to go to college and to laugh at you when you have a profession that doesn't require you to go to college. That's the job of a guidance counselor.
Dang. Dang.
I'm a little saucy tonight. I'm sorry. Apologize.
That's okay.
Anyway, all right. Well, thank you, Neonsai, and we'll move on to the next topic. What if we do this latest one, this Anani Mouse. I'm Mouse. Anani Mouse.
I like this.
Yeah. This is a topic.
This is fun.
So thanks again, Neonsai. And this one's from Anonymous. It's called Product Reviews. This looks like a very interesting. I mean, the title looks interesting. I didn't even read the topic yet, but I'm about to, and you're about to read along with me.
Dang.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
You guys are being forced.
Well, no, you're strongly encouraged.
Ah, okay.
All right. So let me get it up on the screen for you, and then you guys can read along with me. So here we go. It's called Product Reviews from Anonymous, and it goes, is writing a bad review of a product or service one of those situations where you should write it out to get it off your chest but not send? Or is it good to send an honest bad review? Bad reviews can hurt a seller of a product or service, but could help to inform a future consumer about a bad product or service. Bad reviews could be a way for a seller to learn how to improve their product or service, but could also lead to people not trusting their product or service even after it has been improved. I'm kind of lost as to if bad reviews are good or not. When I'm looking at product reviews, the bad reviews are typically where I start reading. From Anonymous. And yes, I feel you, Anonymous. Like, some product reviews are one of those interesting things, like, because it's good to be honest. You said, is writing a bad review of a product or service in one of those situations where you should write it down to get it off your chest but not send? I don't necessarily think so. I think it depends on where you're at emotionally. I think if you are upset about something about this product or service because, like, let's say you buy something that's supposed to not get wet. You throw it in your bathtub and it breaks. And so now you're mad that it's broken. And so you leave a bad review, but it's completely your fault. Like, that might be a time to check yourself before writing the bad review. However, if it's something with the product, right, you gotta be honest with yourself and not emotional about it. So I would wait to write the review until you're not upset about what it's doing, right? Because I'll do the same thing. I'll read product reviews and I'll go to the bad ones. I want to hear what people are saying bad about it. And most of the time, what I find is it's people that are just mad. They're just mad because of some little weird thing that the seller would be happy to fix. Maybe they get a defective one, and so they had to send it back and get a new one, right? Or maybe it took too long to get to them because now we live in this Amazon Prime age of getting everything either overnight or, the next or 2 days or whatever. And, it took a whole week to get there. Oh my gosh. No, I'm super mad. And this is a totally bad product, right?
Yeah, I've seen those. I'm like, that has nothing to do with the product. That's just, yeah.
Right. I mean, I just ordered, let's see. It was probably like 2 weeks ago. I ordered some new work boots, right? And they're on their way from China. I got a note. I was tracking it today. It landed in New York City today. So it took a while to get here, but it's here now. It's in the United States, and then I'll be getting it somewhat soon. And I knew this about this shoe company because I've bought shoes from them before, and I really liked them. So, and it took like a month to get them because they had to get shipped from China. And so, like, I was fine with it, right? But same thing with I got headlamps for everybody for Christmas. Like these really cool headlamps. Because headlamps, man, they save your life all the time. They save my life all the time. But those, same type of deal, right? It took a couple weeks, and it felt weird because most of the time when I order stuff online, it's from Amazon, and I have Prime, and so I get it in 2 days or less. And so it felt weird to wait. But those are sometimes the reviews I see in there that are like the 1-star reviews. They're like, oh, it took 2 weeks to get this, or blah blah blah, or took forever, whatever, blah blah. Either that, or you just have somebody complaining, or sometimes a bad review is there from a competitor company that's trying to take shots at their competitor, at their competition. And so they're leaving bad reviews to make their rating go down, right? There's all kinds of that out there. But here's the thing. If you have an honest bad review, I wouldn't hesitate to put it up there once you're not being emotional about it. Because you're right. There is a lot of good that can come from a bad review. Whether it's, letting future consumers know what to expect, and or helping the manufacturer make improvements. So, anyway, headlamps are also kind of nice. Yeah, they're really nice, actually. I use them all the time. They're so nice. They light up right where you're looking, and your hands are free.
My brother uses them too.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought him one.
Yeah.
He hasn't ever used it because he's got a different one that he wears.
When his, I'm sure he'll wear yours eventually when his wears out.
Yep, that's true. But anyway, so with all that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan. Ryan, hopefully I didn't say all the things you wanted to say. I kind of talked for a little bit at that.
No, that was great. Fine, man.
Yeah, so take it away, Ryan. You've ordered stuff before and had to leave a bad review, or felt like leaving a bad review or whatever before. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be one to talk here. I think logically, if I think about it hard, this is probably what I would do if I felt like I needed to leave a bad review. And Nance, I said something that I think we all agree with. Make sure the review is 100% honest. Do not exaggerate.
Yes.
That's
one of the reasons why I said wait till you're not emotional about it.
Yes, exactly.
Because you will.
So if I was to leave a bad review, I would also keep all of these things that you said in mind. These are the things that I would think about. And so I'd be like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write the review in a very kind and cohesive and constructive way. Mm-hmm. And so I would say, I would literally leave a review and just say, to the makers of this product, whatever it is, what do we call those people? Joe said the word earlier, but whatever.
Manufacturer.
Manufacturer, yeah. To the manufacturer, these are the problems that I experienced with it, whatever. it would be awesome if you could find a way to fix these, because it's not fun when this happens, right? When everything dies or whatever happens. Um, and then people who would read that would be like, okay, and I would be again 100% honest. So I'd be like, I don't expect this like this happened to me. I don't think this is happening to everybody. This is probably like the 1% case, but this happened to me, or it seems like based on other reviews, maybe it's a 10% chance that this would happen to you. So it's like leaving reviews that are as honest and statistical as possible so that and put in a way that is encouraging rather than diminishing is probably the best way I would think to do it. I think it's important to leave the reviews that are quote bad because it's not necessarily bad, right? That's the word we're using. It's a bad review because you're giving it like a 1 star, but in reality, it's a good review because your review is honest and good natured. It is a good review. You're doing a bad review, like a 5-star review could be a bad review because you could just be putting it at 5 stars, even though it should be less, but you feel bad for the company if you give it less. That's not necessarily good to do, right? Because then it causes other people to buy it. And that could, when there's better products out there for the same price or something like that, right? When you know that maybe they don't deserve that high review, it's not technically a good review. It's a bad review because you've done your review badly, right? And so I'm not necessarily the kind of person that says like, oh, I don't give anything 5 stars because nothing's perfect. There are those people. There's a lot of people like that.
That's very true.
They're like, I only give like 4.5 stars. I will never go above that because in reality, nothing's perfect. It's like, well, then just give it a 5 star, you jerk. If that's the highest if you're going the highest you're allowing yourself to go, then go the highest that the program allows you to go. Go to 5 stars, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a different perspective, It's like films, you don't rate anything 10 out of 10. You rate it 7 if it's the best, It's like, okay, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for something to hit you at 10? Like, I don't know. It's silly. So I think it's important to just like what you want, right? And what you clearly want is for the best. You want the best of all possible ends. You want the customer's best, you want the employee's best, you want the company's best, you want everybody's best, right? And so when you write your review, it doesn't have to be long, but it should clearly point out that you want the best for everybody because that is the most honest review that you can leave. And people will see, okay, this person is being thoughtful. And while they're like, maybe they're leaving a bad comment, you can say like, if things change going forward, like you could say like, I'm willing to buy the product again. And if I get the same experience, I'll let you guys know. If I don't get the same experience, I'll hit you guys back up in a month. Like it's okay to do that. I've seen people do that. And it's really cool when I see people do that. I've seen people leave a negative review and then come back later and say, I changed my review. I've changed my review. The company got back with me. I see what the problem was. It was a misunderstanding of the technology, or it was a faulty device. And you know what they did? They took it back and they gave me a new one. And they didn't technically didn't have to do that. There was no warranty, but they did it anyways. Like, they have great customer service or whatever. I've seen people change their reviews. And I don't think I don't think it should be a game where you're trying to I'm going to keep this a bad review unless you guys do something for me, then I'll bump it up. Like, you don't want to play that game. It's kind of naughty, but you get my point. I think it's good to, if you're going to leave a review, yeah, just, it's okay to follow up on it a little bit later and be like, okay, I've now purchased this same kind of thing from this other company. They both do this. And you can post that in the same spot that you posted the review, the first review and the second review. You know, you could leave it on both accounts and just say both of them do it. That way everybody knows, like, okay, this is a common thing that happens with these kinds of products, you know? So to be as clear and honest as possible is great. To be, and not to exaggerate. Yeah, absolutely. That's my best that I can give you. I don't generally leave reviews, but I have left a few. And generally it was just like, yeah, this is a great thing. Or, you know, like I'll leave a review that says something like, based on what I'm reading from the other reviews, I must have had a broken product. Maybe it was broken in the shipping or something happened. Maybe just something was overlooked. But anyways, I got a faulty product. So, and it's worth saying that. But if it's like a design feature that's bad and it's poor, that should, like, people should know about that. Be like, hey, look, this is like the product and idea and concept and everything. It works great, but the handle is a terrible idea for a handle. The design of this handle is not smart. And just leave that review. The handle's a bad handle. And then people will read that and be like, okay, I don't care if it has a bad handle. And some people will be like, oh, I see. Yeah, that was my problem with another device. I hated the handle on it. Yeah, thank you. And then the company might be like, hey, like 2 months later, they'll be like, hey, we've addressed our problem with the handle. We've come out with a better handle. And so there you go. You see that stuff happen, actually. I've seen that happen quite a few times in my life, where a company actually reads the reviews and they come out with a better product. So I think it's important to leave reviews if you have a bad experience. But if you have a bad experience, it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily destroy their company, right? And so one thing you can do, and this is what I tend to do, this is what I would do, it's like, I would just go, instead of giving it like a 1 star, it didn't destroy my life. Like, you know, a 1 star is for something that actually like destroyed my life, you know, like, and by that, there's nothing that really destroys my life, but like made me ill or something, right? Like, guys, this actually made me physically sick. Don't buy it. Like this, at least my experience with this, my body did not accept it, and it made me physically ill for like 2 months or whatever. Like, this is bad. You know, that stuff's fine. Like maybe a 1 star or 2 star for that. But generally I just be like, okay, instead of giving it a 5 star, I'm just going to give it a 3 star and say, hey, this is a problem with the product. This is what's going on. This is my experience. And you leave it at a 3 star. It doesn't have to be the worst of worst. That way people can see, like, you're not trying or attempting to destroy the company and their employees and everything, you know? You're just saying that you had not a perfect experience. You had a not perfect experience, right? That's the way I go about it. That's all I can say. I don't think I've ever really given a 1 star, ever, or even a 2 star. I've always just been 3 or above, and I just keep it at that because I recognize the things you're talking about, and people will read the 3-star review if there's not very many of those. Sure. Like if the worst reviews are 1 and 2, you know, there's only a couple of those, people will keep on reading and they'll read the 3 stars next, and they'll see the honest reviews that are really like someone who's taken the time to think about their experience and say it wasn't the worst thing that ever happened in life, you know, right. and not exaggerate anything. That's where usually like the what do you call it? Level-headed reviews are usually the 3-star review.
Sure.
Anyways.
Yeah, they're the constructive criticism, honest, level-headed reviews. A lot of times, 3 stars. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I mean, thanks, Ryan. And by the way, Anonymous, thanks for sending this topic as well. I just recognized I hadn't done that yet.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Maybe I had, and I forgot. But anyway, I wouldn't be afraid to send a bad review. But like I said before, don't do it in the heat of emotion. Don't come out swinging. But here's the thing, like if there's a clear flaw with the product or whatever, then a lot of times
the company should know that.
Yeah, like I'll get in touch with the company. Like I'll send them an email or whatever, right? And see how far I get there and see how the customer service is. And, like, because then, like, if they're willing to work with me and fix whatever issue, might be going on or whatever, then, I can tell they're good. They care about what they do, and they want to do what's right. And so if those things fall into place, then they're not going to get a bad review from me. It just might be that I personally didn't like the product at that point, right? And I don't leave very many reviews, to be quite honest.
Me either.
I generally let other people do that. And I don't I might be that I might be that guy that you were talking about that doesn't ever leave 5-star reviews because it's not perfect.
Yeah.
I might be
that's
that
funny.
guy.
Yeah. I'm sorry to point you out then and be like,
that's
ridiculous.
Okay.
But I think most people that review, like everybody that I see leave reviews, it's almost always women and not men. But that's my personal experience. All the girls in my life that I know have left reviews way more than the men in my life. But that might just be my narrow experience, It probably is.
It could be. I don't know. I don't know. It seems generally, if we're going to make generalizations about different genders, females tend to have more to say.
Yeah, sure.
In a lot of cases. So that's that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Anonymous, don't be afraid to leave a bad review. If you just need to vent, then it's like the situation you were talking about at the beginning where you're like, is it one of those situations where you just write it out to get it off your chest and not send it? Yes. If you just are feeling upset and you need to vent, then do that, right? Write it all out.
Yeah, and then you can clean it up
don't
later
send
and
it,
post
whatever.
it when it's clean.
Right. So then, but then when you get down to it, I mean, just give yourself a day or two to think about sending it. If you've got that type of situation going on, don't send it right away. Because I don't know, there's a lot that can happen in a couple days. If you get in touch with somebody at the company and they fix the issue, or they send you a replacement, or they do whatever. I had that happen one time with my kid's chair, one of my kids' gaming chairs. They were getting their gaming setups, and I was getting them chairs, and I got one of them, and there was a little bit of a rip in one of his chairs, in my youngest son's chair, actually. And so I took a picture, and immediately, I took a picture of it, and I sent it directly to the manufacturer. I said, I have this problem. They got back to me within like 1 day, and they were like, okay, we'd like to help you fix this situation, and they're like, can you just is there a way that is it coverable? Is there a way to fix? Could we send you some kind of like patch material or whatever? And I was like, to be honest, he's, well, I can't remember how old he was at the time. It might have been like 9 or 10 or something. I'm like or whatever. And I was like, he's gonna be like picking at it if there's that. And so I'd really, can I send this back and get a different one? And they were like, no, we'll just send you a new one. Don't bother sending the other one back. And so then I had a chair with a little tiny hole in it that I got to use in my work area. And then my son got a nice gaming chair without a little hole in the upholstery, right? And but that was all done.
And you got to pick at the upholstery.
Exactly. That's right. But that was all done directly with the manufacturer, right? Where they were just, and then I let them make the decision. They made it right by sending me a brand new one, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was fine. There are times that leaving bad reviews has more of an impact than you might think. Most of the time when we think of leaving a bad review, we just think it's going to affect the seller. It's going to affect how many of these things they might sell, or might educate customers and all that kind of stuff. But I remember, I think it was your brother that was telling me a story about when he bought a vehicle, that he had some interesting experiences with not the salesperson, but the sales manager, right? So it wasn't the salesman who was a problem. The salesman did a great job, but the manager caused a whole bunch of weirdness and problems and everything. So he sent a 3-star review, and and explained all this stuff in there, and they were on him. Like, they were calling him, sending him emails, like, all the time. Like, what can we do to change this to a 5-star? What can we do? What can we do to make it a 5-star review? It was like the review was the important part to him, right? It was like, well, you will get more 5-star reviews if you don't treat your customers like this. Right? Like, that was basically his answer. Like, no, the review is what it is. And it has to do with the experience I had with the sales manager. And the problem was, here's the thing, that review affected the commission percentage for the salesperson. So apparently, like, the more 5-star ratings they get, the salesperson gets a higher commission for the sale, right? It's the income he gets for selling the product. And the more lower ones he gets less of a percentage of commission or whatever, right? So anyway, so he was just like on the phone, sending emails, all the time. And there was not, like, I mean, your brother, Ryan, he's steadfast. He's like, I made a decision. Why do you keep calling me? Like, and he had to get in touch with all kinds of people. And I think he might have even gotten in touch with Ford Motor Company, even though it was a used vehicle, like because they were saying this comes from Ford, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I think he got in touch with not just the dealership, but with the actual car manufacturer saying, hey, this is going on with one of your dealers. Something needs to be addressed here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys are basing your commissions off of this, but that's wrong, first of all. Second of all, I didn't have a problem with the salesman. He did great. The problem was the sales manager, and I don't think his income's getting affected by this bad review. So, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, reviews they've worked their way into a lot of craziness, and they can affect different things than we might think. So, yeah. That's one of the reasons why I'd say be cautious when leaving a review. But, man, the best thing you can do is what Neonsai said, and make sure the review is 100% honest, without exaggeration. Don't exaggerate in either way. If the product is kind of meh, then don't be leaving a 5-star review saying, oh, it changed my life. Don't exaggerate. I love the ones, my favorite reviews are the ones that are 5-star, and they say, it does what is described.
Yeah. Works as described.
Works as described. I'm like, perfect. If that is the case, that's great. I don't necessarily need all the fluffiness. I don't need all the details about how bad your experience was with it. I don't need all the, accolades and stuff like that. But if it works as advertised, then I really like that aspect of things, right? And so, I don't know. But those bad reviews are useful for the company. And then sometimes that's the only way you get in touch with the company. I've had that experience before, too, where I've emailed and got nothing. I've sent, I've emailed, called the number, blah, 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 got nowhere until I left a 1-star review. And then all of a sudden they were all up in my email box. Right? Because that was the thing that it took to get them to take notice. So, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird world out there, with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's also interesting, too, because there's an imbalance because generally people feel like people feel compelled to leave a review when things aren't working right. But if everything's working right and okay, they don't even think to leave a review.
Right.
So it tends to be that there are way more negative reviews than positive reviews. Though, if you look online, generally things have more positive reviews than negative reviews. It kind of says a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's kind of interesting, but I think this is tracked. You can look at people's accounts and see, do they leave positive reviews or negative reviews only? Like, what's their scope? And it could be like you look at an account and it's like the only time they seem to ever say anything is if it's a negative thing, you know? So, and they think everything that they've ever touched on was negative. So it's like, should I even trust this negative review if it's from an account where all they ever do is say negative things? It's like they're just a downer about everything, right? I don't know. You can't tell. And so I would say if you're going to play the game, which I don't play the game because I just don't leave reviews. But if you're going to play the game, I would suggest leaving good reviews where it's good and then bad reviews where it's bad, and playing the game. Every time you buy a product, give it a review, because otherwise it's not very fair to anybody if all you ever do is leave bad reviews, you know? Yeah, that's my thought on that. Yeah.
It's interesting though, because we do pay, I don't know, I think you mentioned it earlier, Ryan, that you pay attention to the reviews. You look at how many stars something has, and that has a determining factor in whether or not you're going to buy something, right? Like if you know, so better reviews may lead to good stuff. And so I'll leave good reviews on things that I really, really enjoy, you know, that I got and I was really impressed with or whatever, you know. And but you're right, a lot of times I don't take the time to do it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm more of a proponent of just getting in touch with the company anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the great way to do it. I think that's really smart. I think that you should always try to do that before you leave a review, if you can.
If you're planning to leave a bad review, you know. You know, you might get in touch with them.
Yeah. If you're planning to leave a review, like, I really like this project, but I better get in contact with the company first. Like, why?
Right. Yeah.
Hey, can I speak to your manager? Yeah, what's the issue? No, I just need to speak to your manager. You get on the manager. Hey, I just want to say your product's really good.
Yep, I'm about to leave a 5-star review.
I've been having a good time with it. I'm going to leave a 5 stars. Is that okay? Hey, do you want to do anything about that? Can you?
I was wondering I was trying to give you the chance to talk your review down a little.
Down, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to test because you guys are really great and your product's really good, but I needed to test your customer service too.
Yeah.
I left a 5-star review.
Yeah.
So
I got to get to know your management team, because like if you're mistreating your employees, then bad review.
That's so funny.
Yes. Do you want to ruin the experience for me so I can give you less than 5 stars? Yes, please. I'm just giving you a chance to wreck this for you.
Click. I didn't like that. 4 stars. I was going to leave a 5-star, but I contacted them for no reason. And they were like, what are you calling for? And they were kind of rude. So 4.
Right. Yes. Would have been a 5 if I just hadn't
They
called
thought
them.
I was trolling them. I was not. 4 stars now.
That's great.
I don't want to do that now.
Yeah, do it. Let us know what you come up with. Let us know what.
Yeah.
And here's another solution. If you find yourself in that, now you probably have a Steve in your life.
Uh-oh. Steve's great.
Steve's
I like
great.
Steve, but what's going on?
Steve's choleric, right? So he's a hard driver, and he's the guy. He's the BSS president, and we put him in that position because he's not afraid to make these calls and contacts and all that kind of stuff, and to like handle uncomfortable conversations and situations. He does it so well.
He loves it.
Yeah,
he thrives in it.
When we had an issue with our distributor, this went way beyond a bad review situation. This was like, we were trying to work out an issue. We had been back and forth with customer service forever, for over a year.
Over a year, yeah.
Yep.
It's like almost 2 years by the time it was done.
Yep. And 2 years was like the limit, for some of this stuff. It had to be registered with ASCAP and they hadn't done it yet. And,
Yeah.
and so like, so, a few of us had been trying to get in contact with their customer service and deal with stuff. And then, and it just, everything's getting dismissed and shut down. And so Steve was like, all right. And he talked to me, he talked to Kyle. He's like, send me the communications that you have with them. And he went on LinkedIn and found their COO and sent him an email and said, what's going on? Here's all this stuff. We've been waiting on this forever. I don't know what you're doing, but we've made your company a bunch of money and we'd like to continue to do so. So let's figure this out. And so like a problem that had been going on for over a year got taken care of in 6 days or something like that, because as soon as that email went to the guy in charge, the COO, then all of a sudden we had like 3 people working on that situation and getting it taken care of for us. And it was because you had a person willing to jump in there and thrive in that. So if you're dealing with something like that, you might think about somebody. If you got somebody who thrives in that environment of conflict, find them to get involved. They might just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, other than that, so you said I'm kind of lost as to if bad reviews are good or not. When I look at a product, the bad reviews are typically where I start looking. Yeah.
I think they're good.
They're useful for sure, especially when they're honest, like you said. And what did it say? Neonsai says, try to get into the mental position of calm and disappointed rather than riled up and shaking mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that because it's very true. Like if you're feeling emotional about it, then hold off. But something you have to say can be very useful for the customer and the manufacturer both, And if it's the seller, maybe, their selling process, it can help them improve if they know where there's something wrong. Right. So it can be very useful to leave bad reviews, but just don't be like most of the bad reviews I see. Like I don't pay attention to most of them just because they're usually people that are this shaking mad. And I know they're just spouting or they're a competitor trying to be stupid. And like, it's funny because one of my favorite, my favorite video game is Overwatch. And when that came out on Steam, the reviews were abysmal. The worst reviews you could possibly get on Steam, like the worst reviews of any other game out there on Steam. It was like the worst. And I was like, this is just people being silly. This is just people being nitpicky and rude and, whatever. Like, and I'm like, because the game is great. If you don't like the game, it's maybe not a problem with the game. It's maybe you just don't like it. So don't play it. Play something else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Most of the time, bad reviews can be very useful, but if there's even a little hint of somebody just being all just like they're just blowing off steam, then I don't even pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah, I've read a lot of reviews like that. That just like you're asking something out of bounds here. Like what you want has nothing to do with the product at this point. Like, yeah, you're angry about something, and that doesn't make it valid.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, yep, definitely experienced those, and I think that it's understandable. But like, it's understandable that they're angry and they're posting about it.
Sure.
But it's not good. I think that's a bad review.
Yeah, it's not constructive. It's not productive. It doesn't lead anywhere good. It doesn't help.
Mhm.
Saule, thank you. If I were to review Assetto Corsa EVO on Steam right now, I would give it a terrible review, but in 2 years' time, it will probably be a good review. Yep. You're right. Some products start bad and get better. And I think a lot of that has to do with how in touch the creator is in with the users, right? Because you can beta test things all day long and whatever. I don't know. I dealt with that with
Oh yeah.
Marvel Rivals a little bit. It seems like they're trying to be involved with the community that's playing that game and whatnot. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard business. Like, yeah, it's the
Making
video game
games.
stuff. Well, trying to make everybody happy with all the different characters that exist.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely imbalances, of course, and then people will go raving mad because they lost a match because of something that they thought was just imbalanced, and it probably was. But then they leave a negative review, and it's like, part of it is like fair, but also just practice the game more, buddy. Like, part of a game should be that it's difficult. It's okay to die. It's okay to lose, and so it's like that's a rough place to be as a developer.
Yep. Yeah, it's like when I play Fortnite. Some kid's better than me, and so they shoot me. Well, immediately they're hacking, and the game sucks. So like, I'm gonna like report the kid and leave a bad review. Like,
yeah.
Couldn't be that they're just better than me,
Right. There's no way. There's no way. Did you see how he did the 360 no scope on me?
Yeah.
It's like
Cheater.
The developers watched the game and is like, wow, he tried that all day long. I see. He got one and he got reported. Okay, fair enough.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yep, we do live in that world. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. And I think the more connected we are to understanding that those are people on the other side of that, you can temper your response a little bit. Imagine if you were speaking face to face with another person.
Yeah. I like what Nyanse said. Like, you're trying to help a friend who's on the other side.
Yeah. Yep. As if it were your friend trying to make the product. You try to be nice about it, right? Because it's a friend. And so like, but even still, like when we're in a chat, and we're just sending texts back and forth, it's easy to, forget that that's another person over there. But when we're face to face with somebody, there are things like we'll put in a chat that we will never say out loud to somebody's face.
Right.
There are things I say on Don't Worry Wednesday that I would never say to somebody. Actually, no, that's not true. I think the things I say here, I would say to anybody.
That's good.
But like when we're leaving reviews and stuff, it's easy when we don't see another person over there. We're just sending words into the internet.
Yeah.
It's easy to let go of some of that self-control. And so that's why we talk about the cooldown period, when you're not mad, pretend like it's a friend of yours that you're trying to, these types of things can really help you craft a very useful bad review. Instead of just one that's going to get dismissed and you're going to be thought like, I'm just going to think you're a crazy person. I'm just going to like dismiss you as a Karen. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's lots of bad reviews I dismiss. I just go like, okay, that was their experience. They're the only one that left it. It sounded pretty angry.
Yep.
Not that I don't trust that was their experience, but I don't think that'll happen to me.
Yeah.
And if it does, I'll try to get in contact with the people, I guess.
Yeah. Or I'll send it back. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Send it back for a refund, blah, 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 whatever. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, most of those I dismiss a lot.
Yeah. It's just Karens being Karens, man. Right?
Mm.
I don't know how
It's okay to
that
have a
got to
Karen in
be
your
the
life, though.
name. It's okay to
Like I
have a
said,
Karen.
you said, yeah, because you said like, to have a Steve in your life who like just thrives in that. That is a Karen move. That's a Karen.
Sure, from the other side, from the other standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, but he doesn't do it in a
Exactly.
Karen way. He does it in a very
No, he doesn't do
controlled,
it in a Karen
level-headed.
way.
He's not
Yeah,
being a
you're right.
Karen.
He's not being a
just
Karen. He's
spouting.
not being a Karen, but it is this sense of like being able to just like thrive in the conflict, to be able to go into the conflict and just get something done and yell and so on. Not that Steve yelled or anything, but just like go straight to the manager, that kind of stuff. Those
assertively.
are Karen moves, but
Mhm.
yeah, but not necessarily like he did it in a Karen way. But I'm just saying it's good to have some of that, and that's okay. Yeah.
I got a cousin who married a gal named Karen.
Oh, no.
I kind of feel bad for her now that all this Karen stuff is like
I know.
so prevalent.
It's not the first time. There have been other names that have been associated with bad things like that, but I forgot what they were.
Wait, you never?
That one's pretty strong.
Miaglios. I've never really understood the whole Karen thing. Like, are there really that many Karens like that? I've come to Michigan, man. There are Karens all over the place.
That's funny.
People all up in your business and stuff, and like getting in. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of people. They're glad to tell you their opinion about what you're doing or what you're, whatever. It's to me that's a Karen. Someone who's just like they stick their nose in somebody else's business and tell them off about it or whatever, right? Like,
yeah. Good stuff.
Yep, come to Michigan. You'll find people. I don't know. I think you live out west where people are generally pretty cool. I think. But yeah. So, anyway,
I think Karen is someone who's entitled.
Yep.
Right? Basically, they take the entitled mentality to an aggressive level. That's a Karen. Something like that.
That makes sense. I think that's a really, really good
assessment.
Yes, that's the word. That's the word. Perfect. All right. Well, Anonymous, thank you so much for the review, for the topic about reviews. You want to leave a review for Don't Worry Wednesday? I don't know if you can or not.
I guess we have a review system. It's either you press a like on the video or a dislike on the video.
That's right. That's right. If you like and subscribe.
If you really, really like it, there is another review. It's not exactly a review. No one will know, but you can hit that bell.
Yep. Where is the bell? I don't even see the bell on here.
I don't even know. I've never
Maybe
hit
it's
it,
because
so
I own the channel. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. That might be it.
Is there?
Can't
I can report it. Okay. I
don't know where the bell is.
I thumbs up. Don't Worry Wednesday. I did it.
I don't even have that option on my screen.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
What was this? Oh no, that's my notifications. Not signing up for notifications. Interesting. Weird. Oh wow, you gave us all of the above. Saule, thank you so much.
Thank you, Saule. You're
It didn't
delicious.
ring last week. Yeah, that's because we didn't have one.
We didn't.
I have heard sometimes
Sorry about that.
The bell ringing isn't always consistent. Sometimes I've heard that.
Yeah.
That complaint about YouTube. Maybe it's better now than it used to be, but
it's weird.
Thing.
Whatever happened to RSS feeds and all that? Is that what there was? RSS feed? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't hear about them much anymore. I never really understood what they were anyway in the first place.
Essentially, they were just the bell, but you could do it on any website for anything. But now, but I never used them. I don't use bells either. But yeah, my brother had one for something, I think, at some time. Like it's just outdated technology, even though it's actually better than what we have now and more consistent.
Right?
I don't know.
Yep. Well, hey, if you must retract your review, that's okay. Do what you must. But Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for the topics. If you have a topic, if you have a topic, go to don'tworrywednesday.com. Click the submit a topic button. We do have another episode scheduled for next week, so we're planning on being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pretty much every week going forward.
Yeah. Yeah,
With
it's
a few
going to be
exceptions.
pretty rare. Like that, like the situation that happened last week where I'm at a customer's house and it has to be done like that day. Like that's extremely rare for what we do, you know, like.
And I was on a phone call with my mom the whole time. So that's why I didn't show up. And that's pretty rare. That's why I took that time. I was like, you know what? I haven't been talked to my mom in a long time. So I'm just going to let this go.
Yeah.
And so I just let the call go.
Yep. So that's cool. So anyway, so we missed you last week. We missed you as much as you missed us. Probably actually
That's
more.
right. Yeah.
We missed you more than you missed us, actually.
Yeah.
So I would have much rather been here than in the state I was in.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I'm like Nyansa, I would have been working at my peak performance because I would have been exhausted. And I was exhausted, but I was not peak performance.
It's a lot harder when you're doing something physical.
Yeah.
Like installing cabinets or whatever.
That's true. And that's so weird. Like when you're putting all that stuff in there, you're using all these muscles that you never use ever. Because you're like reaching in, you're like bent down and you're like sitting on the floor and reaching in sideways and doing all this crazy stuff and screwing stuff and doing all this weird stuff. And man, like the next day I hurt so bad, like in all these weird areas that I'd never felt. I was like, do I even have muscles there? I guess so, because they really hurt today. It was weird.
Yeah. I remember the first time I helped my dad install a cabinet. I wasn't employed or anything. I was just a kid. But he's like, all right, come over here. And I was like, all right. And he's like, okay, now hold this cabinet up while I go screw it in. I'm like, how am I doing this? Yeah. Like, what is this muscle? There is no muscles here. I don't know. You know that I only weigh like 80 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Like this cabinet's heavier than I am. How am I supposed to? What is? And so like, I remember just being there and like my arms are shaking. I'm like, okay.
I'm doing the best I can, Dad.
I'm doing the best I can. Like, I don't know what this is. Yeah.
That's definitely an interesting part of the process. The installation is definitely weird, but it can get weird. But anyway, we will see you guys next week on Don't Worry Wednesday. And so, go to don'tworrywednesday.com, click the submit a topic button, send us some stuff. We'd love to have more stuff to talk about. So please send it, and we'll be here next week. And and you're peaking right now. Sweet.
Good.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Until then, have a great week. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you later. So we love you guys.
Love you guys. Peace.
Bye.